we're live on Facebook. We're also live on YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Sign on, rock on, roll on, jump on. Whatever you gotta do, just ensure that you are on the live. Now today inside Body Talk, we explore the significance of World Sleep Day. Also the importance of sleep overall with Mr. Gregory Arnoud. And we get some insights from his recent book called The Wake Up Call.
Hello, good day. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to getting to Jamaica, as you can see.
Wonderful. Yeah, I hope I got the pronunciation of your last name correct, right? It's Arnold?
Yes, ma'am. That was correct.
Great. Now, Mr. Gregory Arnoud is the founder and the clinical director of GE Health Solutions, and the NGO Caribbean Sleep Disorders Association is an American board certified respiratory therapist and author of The Wake Up Call. So he has a wealth of information and he's here to share about all of these things. He has over 25 years of experience in the field of sleep apnea diagnosis and management. Good. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Arnoud, good afternoon again. Talk to us a bit about yourself. Who is Mr. Gregory Arnoud? What experiences or milestones have shaped your journey in over 25 years of, in the field of sleep? Because that's your career.
I guess I'm a confused kid that grew to be an adult, trying so many different types of career paths, and ended up here now in the area of sleep. And I can't even believe I'm here. I guess I started off in the military and going to college initially and wanting to be an engineer and always wanting to be a basketball player, but I guess it wasn't in the cards. But at the same time, kind of went to the military, and after leaving the military, got involved with different aspects of businesses and marketing and dealing with, selling homes and mortgages and all kinds of things. And eventually one day I met a Jamaican young lady. I hate to say it. That kind of turned my life around and kind of set me in a direction that I started to consider becoming a respiratory therapist. Having learned a little bit about different types of respiratory problems, one being sleep disordered breathing, also known as sleep apnea. It helped me to realize that my grandmother, someone who spent some time with us at various times throughout the summers from Trinidad, used to snore like a bear. And I didn't know what that meant or even know what that was trying to tell us at that time. And it wasn't until later in my career I realized my grandmother suffered from sleep apnea. It was never diagnosed. And there were millions and millions of people in the Caribbean dealing with the same issues. And she had a pretty poor quality of life towards the end, watching her, deal with the challenges with dementia and glaucoma and high blood pressure and her weight. And, I felt as if I needed to make a difference in this space. So I took the knowledge and the expertise and I guess God's gift of talent to be able to, go into the space and try to make a difference in Trinidad, where my parents are from, where my heritage began, and then at the same time now bleed over into other parts, because sleep is for everybody. We all need to sleep, and we all obviously need that to live a good and healthy life. So here I am, I'm in sleep for good now. I guess I'm in a coma, so to say. I haven't been able to come out of it for the last good 10 plus 13 years now in Trinidad, and now birthed the book. And we'll talk a little bit about that later on. And I think we're just excited to get to Jamaica, just to see you guys and be able to kick off the first World Sleep Day in Jamaica.
On Friday. That's going to be this Friday.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, wonderful. Now, what other experiences did you, go through in your journey, 25 plus years? Yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess I started off at the ground level, learning things in the hospital setting, and then eventually moving into home care. And that's where I finally got some exposure to what devices were used to help people that suffer from sleep apnea. Yeah. Eventually, I left from that particular position into beginning managing Durham medical companies in the United States, and then transitioned into medical device sales, where I would market devices that would be used to diagnose persons for sleep apnea in the convenience of their home. from that kind of stemmed into me birthing my own company as an entrepreneur, and sometime late in 2011, early 2012. And, after 13 years, almost 12, 13 years in the space of Trinidad and traveling all over St. Lucia and Barbados and Jamaica and Guyana and the Bahamas, I feel like this was my calling. This is what I was created to do. So I'm excited every day I wake up and I get to meet new people like yourself and be able to bring more awareness to these conditions because it's real.
Yes, it is. It is indeed. Now, for those who don't know what sleep apnea is, what is sleep apnea?
It's a common issue that more than 1 billion+ people suffer with, Sarah. And I tell you that the more and more people that I talk about this, they all say, well, I've been doing that for years, snoring, waking up repeatedly to go to the bathroom, giving my bedside partner the old elbow to roll over when it's getting a little difficult to get a good night's rest. And no one really understood what that was actually telling us in regards to what could be going on in the back of the throat area, your inability to get oxygen to the body. I believe COVID was a good eye opener for all of us to realize that oxygen is essential for life. And
Yes.
understanding the relationship between sleep and lack of oxygen brings even more of a concern, because sleep is a time we don't know what's going on. It's a non-recall state of mind. So, it's something that I think more people need to find out about. They need to desensitize their fear of worrying. If I have sleep apnea, it's not like you have a contagious disease and you did something bad to get it. It's just part of life. We came into the world breathing and we'll leave the world not breathing. So during that process, we have to make sure that we're doing what we need to do to live a healthy life.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gregory. Now, what really led you on this? I remember that you said that a family member, was it your grandma?
Your grandmother, yeah.
Yeah, she used the snore and those things. But what really led you, and I have to pursue a career in this.
I'll be honest with you. Having found out after the fact, after my grandmother had passed, that this is what she had, that was one thing. I was already in the space, so to say, because I was selling medical equipment in diagnosing these concerns, and actually was working for years and treating it. But it wasn't until my dad had a stroke just a few days before this, on March 7th of 2015. My dad had a stroke, and it was more of his wake-up call, so to say, that he had to realize that he could not no longer ignore the information I was giving him about sleep apnea. Like, he snored, he was falling asleep on himself all the time, but never really wanted to address it. But gratefully enough, that day I was there. I had just flown in the night before, and I was able to be by his bedside and talk to him and my mother. And I said, listen, are you serious about trying to live? Because this is a decision you got to make now. You're going to keep your airway open and reduce the next stroke from happening, or you're going to continue the pathway. And gratefully enough, he just passed 9 years after a stroke, doing twice as much as what he was doing. He's 76 years old. I just spoke with him this morning. He just rode his bike and walked 18 miles to start his day. So when I tell you there's a new lease on life, when you can find out that how you sleep is really how you live. If you don't get a good night's rest, you can't expect to get the best out of your day.
Wow. And I must say, I love your outfit, the Jamaican hat, the Jamaican attire.
I'm ready.
You would have, planned on and gone through the projects you would have worked on.
Well, I think after COVID, it kind of changed things for us as far as our ability to get places, and we realized that technology could actually be more efficient in doing so.
Yes,
I was holding World Sleep Day event since 2015 in Trinidad, and more or less introduced this concept to the awareness of this. And it's kind of now grown to even more, and I'm grateful to see the amount of support and participation taking place each year in Trinidad. And I felt it's time to go to the Mecca. It's time to get to Jamaica, where the largest population of English-speaking Caribbean was located, and that I can make a difference there. So I'm just so grateful that I was able to connect with your Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, that he's willing to support this effort, and being the first minister, I would say, to bring this information to the Caribbean and CARICOM about how important sleep is.
Now, for those who may not be familiar, could you explain the World Sleep Day and its significance?
Well, World Sleep Day is a world recognized day. I mean, the whole month of March is pretty much supposed to be Sleep Awareness Month. But it's Sleep Awareness Week, so we're in the week right now. So part Friday is the actual day that's a celebration. More than 53 countries will be having participants and delegates and professionals in the medical space like myself that are bringing some type of education and awareness to the importance of sleep. I was excited to be able to now start the process and create history with your Minister of Health, Dr. Tufton, in Jamaica, and being the delegate for Jamaica this year, and working alongside a number of the physicians that I've been able to meet and build some relationships with over the last few years. So I'm excited.
I'm excited too. No sleeping though on Friday. Well, not during the presentation, right?
No, hopefully not.
Definitely not. Now, as the first World Sleep Day for Trinidad and now for Jamaica, how does it feel to hold such a significant role in promoting awareness of sleep health in the Caribbean region?
I mean, every day I feel like I'm creating history. You know, I'm knocking on doors. I'm trying to reach out to people. I'm talking about the taboo of sleep that people don't want to discuss about what takes place in their bedrooms and how it affects their social relationships and certain things. But you know, I'm just grateful this God has been able to use me on this journey to be like Noah. You know, kind of preaching and getting people to realize that, hey, it's not that the rain's coming, but if you don't get your sleep in order, you're going to start seeing a lot of different health consequences that could affect your life. So I'm just grateful for the journey. It's not about me, to be honest with you. This is bigger than Jamaica. It's bigger than Trinidad. This is a world pandemic. You know, there are billions of people suffocating in their sleep and don't realize how it's impacting them and how it will affect them later on in life. So a sense of urgency is here to make a difference as best I can with the many years I hope to still live to be able to do so.
And give us a synopsis of what happens when we don't get our sleep or enough sleep.
Well, I mean, research and science has shown that if the body is not rested, it cannot perform. And we all have been through that when we've kind of run a little longer than we wanted to throughout the night, maybe watching a little TV or doing a little something to keep our entertainment in some form or fashion. But at the end of the day, our body needs about 7 to 9 hours of restful sleep. When I say the word restful, I mean without interruption. Most people are waking up throughout the middle of the night, having challenges falling asleep and staying asleep, dealing with more than 80 different types of sleeping disorders that people don't even realize exist. But it's most important that we realize that the deficiency of us getting sleep will increase our risk of mortality by more than 10 times, having issues with memory loss, dementia, glaucoma, cancer, sexual dysfunction. There are so many things that we don't realize is associated to sleep apnea and how it impacts our lives. But if we can just take one day at a time and try to improve our sleep etiquette, put away these phones so that those lights are not affecting our ability to fall asleep. Stop, taking pounds and pounds of melatonin every day. Understand how and when to drink caffeine and to manage your day properly to allow you to go to sleep. And like I said, start purposely working on sleep just the same way you work on an education or you working on goals in life. Sleep is just not something we expect to just going to happen in your benefit if you're dealing with challenges, and you may have to spend some time working on sleep just like anything else you would in your life to see the best outcomes.
I love this. I love this so much because sleep is very dear to me, I will ensure that I get my 8 hours sleep every day. So, wow, sleep is so important. Now, you're the author of Wake Up Call. Could you give us an overview? Yes, you have the book there, so you can just show us on the screen. So
the Wake Up Call?
The Wake Up Call, yes. Could you give us an overview of what readers can expect to explore within the pages of your book?
Well, you'll get a little bit of my personality in there. I seem like I want to be a comedian in my past life, I guess. But you'll find some humor. You'll find a lot of interesting facts and of research that I've been able to acquire over the last 25 years in this space. And just a way to be able to palatably take it in. You got a way that you can understand the information. It's not too high levels for you to be able to understand because of the complexity of the words. I wanted to make sure that a child could read this book, except for chapter 3. But at the same time, well, chapter 3 is sleep, sex, and snoring. So we don't have to educate the children there yet. But when you talk about sleep, we always talk about sleep in its quantitative form. Like you said, I get 8 hours. But what we're not understanding is more about what's the quality of the sleep that's more important than the quantity. And if you're not getting oxygen to the body, that's going to cause a change in your hormones within the body, your inability to control your weight, your sugar levels, your blood pressure, just pretty much everything gets thrown out of whack when you're not getting sufficient sleep, but more importantly, not getting oxygen. So I wrote this book hoping that I can leave a legacy, I guess, so to say, for my family and for obviously my grandmother's life, that she did not get this information, did not get treated, and obviously had to deal those consequences. And me trying to use this as a way of trying to ensure that other families didn't have to go through a loss of a family friend or a grandparent or anybody, because life is short, and it'll be a lot shorter if you're not getting a good night's sleep, because that's what's contributing to so many accidents. So people falling asleep behind the wheel of the car, hurting themselves at work, and just making poor decisions because they're just, not getting a good night's rest. So I hope the wake up call, and I'll get you a copy when I get there next couple of days, and make sure that you get your copy as well. Signed.
Yes.
And I'm excited that I'll be working with Fontana Pharmacy. That will be eventually carrying my book and doing some book signings and some photo shoots and different things. So I'm excited for what's coming in this month of March.
Oh Lord, I'm so excited. No, how can they, for my peeps, they're overseas, how can they get it? Available on Amazon? And what's the cost?
Yes, ma'am. It's available on Amazon. I believe it's $18.95 USD for the paperback and about $24.95 for the hardcover. And then there's also the Kindle. I believe it's like $7 or $8. But I'm going to do something special for those participants that's going to take part of our World Sleep webinar. For every participant that registers and gets on board, I'm going to send them a copy of the ebook at no charge and give them an ability to get this information. And if obviously they want to get the book, I appreciate the support and the opportunity once again to meet a number of persons there, as we can get to, just enjoy the time that we're spending. Because as you said, sleep is something that we all start to enjoy a little later in life when we start to appreciate it. But at the same time, there's some importance to this message, and I hope that everybody can get it before it's a little too late.
Oh, Gregory, I'm just so excited. You have no idea. And this topic is it's so informative because a lot of people take sleep for granted.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Without a doubt. And this book will say, hey, no, and the research has shown that it's linked to dementia and all the other things you mentioned. Oh my goodness. Wow. So I'm hearing people, they just messaged me, how can I get the book? Yes, so as mentioned, it's on Amazon. It's The Wake Up Call. That's the name of the book. And that's by Gregory Arneaud. Also, it will be in Fontana, at the Fontana pharmacies across Jamaica, right? So they can go ahead and get that. And as you mentioned, for those who sign up, you can get the free ebook ride on Friday for your annual World Sleep Day webinar. So talk to us more about that. You'll be hosting your annual World Sleep Day webinar this Friday. Could you share some insights about, this webinar? What can the attendees expect and so on and so forth?
Well, first off, we'll have the Honorable Minister of Health, Dr. Christopher Tufton, be able to open up and speak to our audience about the importance of sleep, kind of leading the Caribbean charge and the understanding of sleep health. I have an amazing doctor out of India, Dr. Sharma. She is a behavioral sleep medicine physician, and she's actually been doing research on how sleep impacts performance in athletes. So this is something that will help us to realize, in that particular space, how important sleep is. We have Dr. Roberta Corona out of beautiful Barbados at the BioConnect Medical Center. She's a woman's health physician, OBGYN, and she will talk a little bit about menopause and women's challenges with getting a good night's sleep, obviously because of a lot of the changes hormonal that you folks deal with. I have the beautiful Dr. Tanya Berbrun out of St. Lucia, who's going to help bring some information to us about, from a holistic standpoint, how sleep impacts our weight, how it impacts our health, and just about everything in our life. We also have my good friend, Dr. Andrew Danu, who is from the Trinidad and Tobago Diabetes Association. We're going to be unveiling a research study in Trinidad and hopefully to do the same in Jamaica with all of the diabetes that's running rampant throughout the Caribbean, there's such a strong relationship between type 2 diabetes and sleep apnea. More than 50% of persons with type 2 diabetes could suffer from sleep apnea, and more than 70% of those that are overweight. So we need that statistics for the Caribbean. We need to be able to be more enlightened about what's affecting us, not just what's going on in the US or the UK, and kind of bring it close to home. So I'm excited to do this research study with that group there. And like I said, we have a number of prizes to give away. We'll be giving away pillows and testing, free tests. We'll be giving away some free books. We'll be giving away a lot of stuff. So I'm excited, like I said, just to use this opportunity to educate, bring more awareness, and share some of the solutions that we can with helping persons get a better night's rest.
And I'm super excited. Now, how can we register for the webinar that will be happening on Friday?
You can go right to our website at isdhealthsolutions.com. It should be World Sleep Day 2024 is the link to the back end. It's on our Facebook page and Instagram. Easy to be able to click on that link, just register. Like I said, those who register will get a copy of the ebook. Our time of this particular webinar is going to run between about 10 a.m. and a little more than 12, depending on how many questions we may have towards the end and how long it takes for us to give out some sponsored prizes. But like I said, I think we'll have a great lunch and learn type of an event during that time for those who may be eating some food during that time. But overall, we'll have a great time as we do each year.
Oh, so it's going to be from 10 a.m. to about 12, thereabouts, depending on the question. All right. Now, lastly, is there a message you'd like to impart to our listeners regarding the importance of taking their sleep more seriously?
Well, yeah, I would probably tell people, and I don't have a hack on sleep. As you can see, the bags on my eyes. I'm not getting good sleep just like everyone else, right? There's no hack on it that I can say that I've mastered. But, you know, we're all challenged with a number of different things in our lives and responsibilities. But one of the things that we have to understand is our health is our number one priority. We probably don't think about that until later on in our lives when we have children to take care of and we realize that we're starting to have symptoms of different issues. But sleep plays an important role in our entire lives, even though we don't understand that it makes up a third of our lives, but yet we don't have a clue what goes on there. But, you know, God has done some amazing things with creating us. And I think the main thing he did to separate us from being immortal is he made us have to sleep.
Yes.
We sure we don't want a God that's sleeping all the time either. So I hope that, you know, that this message and the constant, like I said, the questions that you might find you'll ask yourself after this seminar and after learning a little more would cause some change, you know, with people looking at knowing their numbers. You know, as Dr. Tufton would say, you know, you have to know your numbers to realize what's going on, and understanding your sleep health and understanding your heart rhythm and oxygen level is very important. As you see, a number of technologies coming on the market today, like the Apple Watches and the Fitbits and Samsungs, are all looking at now detecting sleep apnea. Go figure, right?
Yes.
So why would a global company be looking at sleep apnea? Why? Because it's affecting us globally. So I'm excited that we're going to kick this off in Jamaica. I couldn't even tell you how I'm counting the hours to get there. It's actually on the site. I actually have the hour meter showing when it's going to start.
Wow, the countdown, yes.
Looking forward to being a part of history and thanking you, Sarah Ann, and your group there for taking on this challenge to help me get some information out about it before Friday. And when I get there, hopefully we can follow up and maybe answer some questions of your listeners that may have some consequences they can't seem to figure out on their own, and seeing if I can best help them.
Awesome. Is there a cost to register though?
No, ma'am. No cost at all. It's free to the public.
It's free?
It's free. It's for information. It's free like the Gospels. You just got to use it though.
Oh my goodness! All this information will be free. Oh yeah.
So go to our Facebook page, isdhealthsolutions.com, or Instagram, or to our website, isdhealthsolutions.com, and you'll find the link there to register. And we're hoping, like I said, we're going to have a great turnout of individuals who would participate in asking questions, and once again, taking advantage of all the wealth of knowledge of the doctors that are coming all over the world, internationally and in the Caribbean, that are going to be sharing with us some vital information that could help improve our quality of life.
Where will this be?
Will be done online. All of this will be done online as a webinar. So I just physically want to be in Jamaica, so I have a little oxtail and a little curry chicken and things like that, right? so I got to be able to, if I'm kicking off the first one, I got to be there, right? I can't be doing it remotely, even though it's a webinar. So I'm looking forward to getting out there and making it one love. a one love type of a meeting for everyone to come together in the Caribbean. But I'll be in Jamaica.
Love that. So, as you heard, children of God, it will be online. So, anywhere in the world you are, you can go ahead, register at isdhealthsolutions.com. You will see the link to just register, and it's going to start at 10 a.m. and it will go up until about 12 there about. Wow. Awesome. I have to be a part of that, so I have to go and register. Wow. Thank you again, Gregory, for imparting such wealth of knowledge to us. And even the webinar will be more insightful. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And I had no idea that sleep was, not getting enough sleep could lead to the weight issues and those things. I had no idea.
Yeah, you shorten your lifespan a great deal by not getting enough sleep. And heart disease is one of the biggest issues related to lack of sleep. So Tune in. Looking forward to having you part of that, Sarah Ann, and as well as your listeners, and having a great time as we celebrate the world of sleep on World Sleep Day.
World Sleep Day will be on Friday. Thank you so much again, Gregory.
My pleasure.
Sharing. All right.
See you. Have a blessed day.
See you on Friday. Well,
see you soon.
Yeah.
All right, now.
Enjoy the curry goat on the oxtail and the dirt chicken. Those things, all right?
Yes, ma'am. All right, now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And that was Body Talk. Thanks so much for joining us as we had Mr. Gregory Arneaud, founder and clinical director of ISD Health Solutions and the NGO Caribbean Sleep Disorders Association. Right. And it's an American brand certified respiratory therapist and author of The Wake Up Call. Remember, you can go on Amazon, you can get his book. Yes, man, read. It has a wealth of information, a wealth of knowledge in that book.